Hello YouTube, this is Riker with part 3 of Let's Play Final Fantasy III EvilType. I skipped ahead a little bit here as I will do in between videos. I didn't run into any other fights, so I didn't level up at all since the last video. Just skipped all the cutscene stuff here at Figaro Castle. All I did to prepare is I put all my characters into the front row each time you get to control each of them. And that goes against what I was talking about before a little bit, but as you're about to see here, we're going to get ambushed by some Magi-Tek Armor, and it's a back attack, so that'll put all your characters into the back row, which is what we want. And this fight isn't too hard. It was even easier in the original version of the game because you could just use Noise Blaster and they would be confused for the whole fight and they wouldn't do anything. That's not the case here. They're immune to the muddle status. And of course when Terra uses magic here, we're gonna get the other cutscene, which I will promptly skip through. And their heads get cut off here, which is interesting because that's what happens when you play on the emulator. Bio Blaster is the best attack you can use here. So it is beneficial to buy those tools in the castle. You can get a discount if Edgar leads your party later on, but it's not really worth it. Money's really easy to get in this game, and there's not a whole lot you really need to buy, and it's not that expensive, so you really shouldn't. That's one thing about this game, is you really shouldn't. And it looks like you actually get a Noise Blaster from that fight, so you might be better off just buying the Bio Blaster. But like I was saying, it doesn't really matter. And we get the famous "Was that a bad person?" line. Okay, so we're just gonna head over to this cave over here. There's some treasure inside of here, but it's only like, I don't know, tonic, antidote, phoenix down, something like that. And if you leave those items in here, they will eventually change into better items. You can get a hero ring and some other cool stuff, so I highly suggest you don't touch those items. And these fights, of course, are going to be much more difficult, as you can see already. Like, I might even lose Terra here. No. Noise Blaster is very useful here. As it is through most of the game. It's really useful in the regular playthrough of this game, but it's even more useful here because not only can they not attack you, obviously they attack each other. It's just a great status ailment, and statuses aren't that important in this game normally, but when you're playing on this ROM hack, they're a hell of a lot more useful. Your best abilities are going to be inflicting status effects, like inflicting silence on a boss that can cast a really powerful spell, etc. And actually I should be using auto crossbow here. As you can see, we've already had to do quite a lot of healing. That's going to be the theme of this game, is healing and status effects. You pretty much just deal damage whenever you can comfortably, but it's not like the regular game where you just throw all your most powerful abilities at the enemy and they just die instantly. And speaking of dying instantly, wow. Should probably use like a potion or something, but yeah. This isn't good. I'm gonna try to run here. I think I can get away with just running. Because once we get a little bit further, we can use an N or whatever. And I guess the positive effect of this is that I won't be gaining any experience, which is always good to keep the game challenging. These grease, I was just about to say, the grease monks are really powerful. Really powerful. This won't be quite as hopeless once we progress a little bit through the game. The beginning is really brutal, especially this area of the game. And like Mount Colts, it's just really bad. I'm going to use a potion here just because, maybe a couple tonics. As you can see, you get a lot through the regular playthrough. Wow. This is probably not the best Let's Play video of all time. This is getting kind of monotonous, but we'll get there eventually. Yeah, this is going to be good. I keep forgetting to... Hell, let's use one more. I don't really want to use like any Phoenix Downs or anything, because I'm just so close to town. There we go, preemptive attack, that's what I needed. Now, the first thing I like to do here is actually, I'm going to go down, is it here? No. Of course I wanted the relic shop, and I'm just realizing I totally walked past the door with the relic sprite next to it. This guy's going to talk to you about relics and pretty much just waste your time. Sprint shoes. As I was saying before, goggles, they give you some defense. Some of the stuff's pretty good, which is, you want one of these because you're gonna get poisoned coming up, and actually, let's get a jewel ring too. Just one of each, because, like, say you get poisoned at Mount Colts, which is really easy. It will probably happen. All you do is you equip that relic, and then you can just unequip it, and it'll cure your poison. So you don't need to use an antidote or a spell or anything like that. That's really useful. If you come up here, I just want to make sure that you guys see this. There's actually a lot of items to get in this first town. But if you guys don't know about this little trick, I'll show that to you before this video ends. And I'm probably going to skip ahead to Mount Colts in part 4. If you keep going down here and take a right, you can get some pretty nice items. Get a hyper wrist, which increases your vigor, which is pretty much like a strength stat in this game. Makes you do more damage with physical attacks. And the running shoes put you in haste permanently, which is really useful. That's where we find another character in the game that will not be named, of course. Just in case, for whatever reason, if anybody's watching this that hasn't played through the game before, which I can't imagine, but could happen. And this final chest is empty, so that's gonna about wrap up this segment. We're gonna go to Mount Colts and hopefully have time to beat Vargas in the next video. There's a lot of other nice items in Mount Colts, well, one in particular that we'll see. A lot of the other items in this town do the same thing I was talking about before. They transform into other items, so some of them I'm going to end up leaving so I can grab like an elixir and such later on. So that wraps up part 3 of this Let's Play. You can go ahead and click on part 4 to continue this and take a look at Mount Colts and this difficulty hack. So thanks for watching.